You can get protein at home or a protein latte at Tim's. No powders, no blenders, no shakers. Starting at 17 grams per medium latte. Tim's new protein lattes. Protein without all the work.
You're watching Canada's Weather Network. To help you plan your activities in the coming days, here are the short and long-term forecasts for your area.
This local forecast is brought to you by International Delight, the coffee shop flavors you love right at home. This fall forecast is sponsored by International Delight, the coffee shop flavors you love right at home.
You know, Kim, I just love these seasonal forecasts we do. It's, we go to different locations, we get to interact with our viewers, and most importantly, we get to deliver you the trends of the upcoming season. It really builds a lot of anticipation. I would say, hope and dreams too.
We're always hoping for something nice when it comes to the season, and people love fall. I think people love October. That's
yes.
my personal opinion. October is when all the good things happen, and when people want to be outside, like maybe they want to come to Elora and explore the fall market. We want the temperatures to be just perfect.
We really do. So let's take a look at those temperatures because, it looks like if we look at Eastern Canada, so Ontario eastwards, above normal temperatures. This means like long fall hikes, Kim.
Yes.
Get that exercise going, and it's under a canopy of changing leaf colors. Could you think of anything better?
This is not time to hibernate, folks. That's coming next season. In northern Canada, however, fall comes a little bit earlier, winter comes a little bit earlier, and sometimes fall looks like winter.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've already already had bouts of snow, and we're likely going to see more of that as well. And across the west, well, that trend of above normal temperatures, Kim, that pretty much continues as well, except once we get towards British Columbia and parts of the western Yukon, and I think that will be offset by more rain. So more rain, more clouds, maybe not quite as warm.
But it looks like that we could have a ski season that won't be too bad and will start just on time. Look at this. This is pure fall. Get out there in the tractor, go for that little hayride through the pumpkin field. I mean, this is the kind of thing that people love to do on the weekends in the fall.
Reaping the rewards from all the toiling in the fields, all that hard work. Okay, the fall colors and why they may be at risk in Alberta this fall.
You know it's fall on the prairies when you start to see this. Yellow, yellow, and more yellow.
But did you know that one of the trees responsible for much of Alberta's fall colors is actually under threat? That's the iconic aspen.
Rapid climate change and or forest management practices are making it more difficult for our aspen to thrive.
University of Alberta professor Simon Landhauser has studied aspen for decades. As he explains, it's the predominant tree in Alberta's parkland, a large natural region between the prairies of the south and the thick boreal forest of the north. So it's responsible for much of the fall color in areas around Edmonton, for example. But its root system is vulnerable to drought. In fact, one study found that a decade after a severe drought in the early 2000s, there was up to 5 times as much dead aspen biomass in drought-stricken areas compared to areas that saw more normal moisture. And with climate change models promising more frequent and extreme drought in Alberta, some of the aspen could be at serious risk if we don't see a change of course in the trend of atmospheric warming.
So they damaged the tree and the root system got cut off right here.
Meanwhile, industrial and agricultural development can also require the removal of aspen tree stands, which might mean that measures like conservation agreements or some kind of carbon credit system will be needed to maintain healthy aspen stands into the future, which of course will also support a significant diversity of wildlife in addition to painting the parkland with beautiful color when fall arrives.
If we want to keep the fall colors going, well, we have to keep the aspen on the landscape. If we want to keep the aspen on the landscape, we have to manage the landscape for aspen.
Thank you for joining us here at the Weather Network for active weather coverage.